Okay, we are live. Welcome back to another watch party. It is one of the last ones we're going to get of the season. It is the Nets taking on the Pistons in an earlier match today. Um, the Nets won last time out against the Indiana Pacers. Noah Clowney had the best performance of his young career. He had 22 points, 10 boards, 5 offensive rebounds, 3 threes hit. It was a great all-round game by him as the Nets won by 4. And for once, we actually didn't capitulate in crunch time. We actually got the job done late, even though we did fall behind late because Siakam was hitting a couple of big shots. But credit to players like Mikal Bridges. You know, he hit a big 3 and then really embodied that 3-and-D title he's, raked in over the years with a very important charge call that went our way and allowed us to, take the lead and never look back. So Mikal was really key. Cam Thomas had another decent sort of game. He top scored, and I believe it's the 10th or 5th straight game where he scored 25 or more at the Barclays Center. So that bodes well for a game today, which is also at the Barclays Center. We are 2-1 in the season series. We lost our last game to Detroit in a big match. That was a big match, and Jaden Ivey, who is playing today, had a great performance last time out against the Nets. The Nets got 31 from Schroeder and 21 from Walker last time out, but there was no Cam Thomas in that game. We started DSJ, and that was the game where we went down by about 15 in the first quarter. And so even though we shot like 41% from 3, 48% from the field, we allowed them to shoot 50, 40, 90 on the game. And Cunningham and Ivy, they combined for 66 points. So you're not going to win too many games, allowing that many points from 2 players. I mean, outside of those 2, there wasn't too much to exist, but a lot of players that played big minutes in those games or in that game are not playing today. Thompson is out for the season. Jalen Duren is out today. Isaiah Stewart, who also played that game, is out for the rest of the season. So it's a vastly different lineup, and they also don't have Cade Cunningham. So we should be able to win this game with a lot of their bench pieces getting a crack. Danny, welcome to the stream. Weirdly enough, Detroit is home to one of the, weirdest players in the NBA right now, because Malachi Flynn about a week ago hit 50 points in a loss against, I believe, Washington. I'm not going to speculate, but it was one of those sort of teams. Or maybe even Atlanta. But then the very next game, he goes 0 of 12 and scores 0 points. So I don't really know what to tell you there. But he's coming off the bench today. Injury report, as you've seen, cycle through. Ben is out, Derek Whitehead's out, Keita Bates-Diop is out, and then we also have Cam Johnson and DSJ out again with the same injuries they had about a week ago. I would have just shut them down for the season and called it a day. But the Nets, I don't know what they want. They want 33 wins instead of 32, or 32 wins instead of 31. They want that extra win. I don't know what for. But we got a few absences, which means we're going to get some Clowney minutes, and I've put him in the spotlight today. So I'm excited for that. The lineups. Let's show you the lineups real quick. Hold on. Lineup for the Nets: Schroeder, Thomas, Bridges, Finney-Smith, Claxton. I think that's pretty easy to, understand and preempt, anticipate. For the Pistons, though, Sasa starts, Ivy, Troy Brown Jr., Chimezie Metu, and James Wiseman. That's a weird starting 5, but you know what? I wouldn't be one bit surprised if they decide to play well. Because, Metu's not too bad, and there were a couple plays where James Wiseman did cook in the previous meeting we played against them. And of course, Ivy decides to always play well against us. So we'll see how we go. But Look, I don't really care about the off-season at the moment. We've got 5 or so games left in the year. I'm looking at the bright spots, and I'm looking at us just getting a couple wins, just to, um, for the players that are here next year, just something to build off going into the next season. Um, you know, it's good to see that players like Watford and Clowney and Wilson are getting a bit of extended run, and Clowney's doing a lot with the minutes he plays. Watford's doing some very nice things as well. And Dayron Sharp hasn't been given too much run, which is an interesting sort of dynamic at the moment, because, I mean, I thought he was a nailed-on backup big, but apparently not. We're playing Clowney at the 5, sometimes Finney Smith at the 4, and then Claxton at the 5 if Clowney is at the 4. So, there's plenty of versatility with what we can do here, and it's an exciting prospect. I reckon about 2-3 weeks ago we could have said that Cam Thomas was the only shining light from the season, but it's good to see that a couple of players have relished the opportunity, and it's our younger players too. It's not just like 28-year-old bums. These guys have upside, and we drafted them into the system about a year ago. So, these guys have, like, the potential is there. They just needed the exposure. So it's good to see that they've been, getting that increased exposure, because, that gives the front office a little bit, like, it informs their decision making a little bit more about which way they want to pivot, and it also, like, what's the word? It sort of, like, gives a little bit of, clarity as to whether or not you need to get rid of certain players. So I don't know. That's one of the main takeaways I get from the back end of this season. I don't really factor in the wins, but, obviously from a viewing perspective, I don't want to see this team lose, especially to the fucking Pistons, but it's already happened once this season, and with the playoffs out of reach now, it's good to just, like, watch the game and know that you can't make the playoffs. We're underway, and as I said, it's good to know that, like our fate is resigned. What a backdoor cut by Wiseman, and a good find there by, I don't know who was distributing, Chemezi Metu with the feed, and the Pistons are on the board. That was pretty relaxed defensive coverage there by the Nets. Wiseman wasn't bodied up the whole possession, and they had an easy score as a result. Thomas in the mid-range, wide open, that hits the front of the rim and out, and now Sasa will bring it up for the Pistons. Pass across to Ivey, down the middle, stops the turn, keeps the pivot foot down, and Ivey's shot rims out. And Thomas with the rebound. The high screen by Claxton. It will get inside. Shifts gears, the kick out to Bridges, lost the ball going up, and it is a turnover. Brown will push the pace forward. Detroit, Ivey on the outside, swings it across to Sasa, and now the screen by Wiseman. The cross, another cross, kick out to the corner for Brown. Step back 2 over Bridges. That's off. Rebound Finney Smith. So a couple of misses early for both teams. Thomas now on the perimeter, guarded by Claxton. Switch. And we've got a foul. And it's not a foul, it's a defensive 3-second call, and it will be Cam Thomas taking the free throw to get the Nets on the board about 90 seconds into the match. So Thomas at the line. Already put up a shot today. Missed the first one, but he's made the first free throw here today to get the Nets on the board. We've got Tony Brothers as ref, which means that there's bound to be some bullshit calls going the way of the Pistons. It was only one free throw. I forgot you don't get 2 for a defensive 3-second. Bridges picked up by Brown. I suspect that's the matchup for today. Bridges pulls up for 2 in the mid-range and scores. And the Nets have their first bucket of the game at the 10-19 mark of the first. Sasser on the outside. Across to Ivey. To the corner for Metu. Quick trigger. And it goes down. Pistons knock down their first three. 5-3. Thomas on the outside. The switch, he's got Metu on him, who just scored the three-pointer. Finney-Smith inside, knocked away. Pistons get the steal. That's their second of the match. Sasser will bring it up. Pulls up for three over Finney-Smith. Tries to hit it off the backboard, and it goes out. Finney-Smith pump fake. Schroeder, swing. Thomas inside. Pull up two. Fouled. And it'll be free throws for CT. So Cam Thomas getting his second trip at the line. These will be free throws 2 and 3. And it's off the back of James Wiseman being a little bit flat-footed. Thomas blew right by him. And then Wiseman a little bit late to the spot and fouled Thomas on the arm. So 2 free throws here for CT. The 9:39 mark of the first quarter. It is 5-3 Pistons, and it's now 5-4 Pistons. So second free throws here. Pistons. I don't know how many games they've won this season, but I mean, they're probably just wanting this season to end. I think the fans more so than anything. Thomas converts both. And now Ivey up top. High screen by Wiseman. Top of the key 3 by Ivey. Splash. Every single time you enter the Barclays Center, shit 3-point shooters instantly become Steph Curry. And that is the second 3 of the game. Finney-Smith the response. Nope. To the right. Rebound Metu. On the right side, he swings it to Ivey in the middle. 3 again. It's good. And Ollie is going to call a quick timeout. Because every fucking time Jaden Ivey rocks up to this damn venue, he decides to play well. Does my head in, mate. Does my bloody head in. If you are enjoying the stream so far, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets versus Kings in... tomorrow, actually. It's tomorrow. So make sure to tune in for that one. Pistons off to a bright start here. 2-1 in the season series this game so far. So this one is, well, it's either going to be tied up by Detroit or the Nets are able to get the W in the season series. Go to a nice old box score check. Haven't done one of these in a while. Yeah, so it'll be that. The final 3 games we're doing for the season is Nets versus... Pistons today. Then we're doing Nets versus the Sacramento Kings tomorrow, hopefully. And then we are doing Nets versus the New York Knicks in about a week's time. We're not going to be able to do the Raptors game. But yeah, the Kings game will be the last one of the season because always on the last day of the season, it's always like a 3 a.m. start over here. So it's just a bit ridiculous. It's just a little bit ridiculous. I can't wake up at 3 a.m. to watch the fucking Nets. You know, I just want this season to end as much as I think a lot of us do. Hopefully we can reset and I think the most torturous thing about the season this year has been, even though we sort of knew going into the year, this was going to be a year where you sort of like worked out where your team was at, and you like tried to compete, you wanted to remain stable. I think the real issue this year has been, well, there hasn't been an alignment. Like, we've still got a lot of players that were here last year, but we've been significantly worse off. Yes, injuries have hit, but it's been a fucking tumultuous season. And I think, like, whenever the team lost, you didn't know whether to be happy or not. And then when you won, it was almost false hope, because, like, the team was never it. So I think next year, if we can establish that we're rebuilding and embrace the rebuild a little bit more, I think a lot of people won't be as mad if we lose. like there were so many games that we dropped this season, and everyone was absolutely slating the team because, oh my god, what a shit pass, man! Just so fucking predictable. 2 minutes of a timeout, and we turn it over immediately. But yeah, like we were getting mad at the team, but it probably was realistic. Like the team wasn't good enough to compete with the best. But yet people were still getting mad about the same old players doing the same old shit when, there just needed to be a bit of acceptance about where this team was at, not only from the front office, but I think the fan base as well. I think the fan base knew the team was trash, but every time we lost was like we needed to win the game, which didn't really align with what the fans were sort of believing. The Pistons have scored the last 8 points. Sasser scored a mid-range out of the timeout after forcing the turnover with some defensive pressure. Bridges the 3 is short and a rebound by Wiseman. And so the Pistons can get out to a nice early lead here. They're 5 of 8. The Nets have only put up 4 shots. Sasser on the outside, the step back 3. It's open. It's too easy. It's an absolute cakewalk early on. And then Sasser nearly gets the steal. He's looked very, very energetic out the gate. Finney Smith is open for a 3. And that one hits back iron as well. So the Nets can't buy a fucking bucket. And the Pistons are seeing it through every single time. Ivey will use the screen and drive on Bridges. Well held up. They're going to have to kick it back out to Sasser. And now Ivey gets it back on the wing. Guarded by Bridges. The switch. He drives. Jump shot is good again. And they've scored 13 in a row. 2 minutes it's taken for them to score 13 flat, and, well, the Nets have not scored a bucket in that entire time. Bridges, extra feed, Schroeder one more to Finney Smith, the corner tray, just can't make a fucking bucket. I mean, Finney Smith has probably taken the most shots of any player, and that checks out, because, like, he's been left open the most, but he just cannot knock down the shots for his life. Thomas, another 3, and he's knocked it down. He just makes the difficult shots look easy these days. And he cuts the lead back down to 10, ends that 13-0 run. The shot selection's a little bit questionable, but, I mean, Cam Thomas is more capable of making the shots than DFS. Sasser one-on-one, bounce pass to Wiseman in the low post. He's got Finney Smith guarding. Thomas comes over to help. It's knocked away. Brown in the corner. 3 over Finney Smith as the clock expired. And then Nets get a rebound. Thomas. Cross gets inside. Extra feed. I don't know who he was looking for, but the Pistons nearly raked it in for a turnover. It was knocked out of bounds by Metu as he was trying to rake in the steal. And with the ball going out of bounds, we're going to see some subs. And it's going to be the man of the moment from the game against the Pacers last time out. Noah Clowney checking in with 22 and 10. So I'm excited to see if he does something of the same level today. I mean, it's pretty tough to replicate for a rookie, but I wouldn't be complaining. Claxton remains in. So it's Clowney at the 4. Who, granted, I reckon he's nailed on to hit his first 3-pointer because DFS has missed a ton of them. It's Clowney. Watford also checked in. So Clowney, Watford, Claxton, Bridges, and Thomas. This is a good group. I don't mind this. Bridges just passed up a fucking layup for a 3, and Clowney misses. He's not afraid to take him. Corner 3 for the Pistons. That's off. Rebound raked in by Claxton. Board by Thomas. And he'll marshal the floor. Pass to Clax in the middle. 1-2. Thomas had the pass knocked away. Read again by the Pistons. We cannot look after the ball in this first quarter. Sasser the kick out. There's an open man in the corner again. It's Brown, and he hits the 3. Those are just like regulation. Second fucking time in a row, we've played the Pistons and gotten off to an absolutely crap start. Can't look after the ball at the moment, which is frustrating, and they've hit 5 3-pointers on top. Clowney's open under the basket, and he scores the reverse 2, and actually got the foul. So Clowney's going to get a look here with the free throw, and Claxton with the dime. Nice little shovel pass there to Clowney. Little bit of a flick more so. That was a very, very phantom call there. I don't know where the foul surfaced from because I didn't see it at all. So free throws coming up here. One free throw for Noah Clowney. Wiseman goes to the bench with 2 personals. And Clowney misses the free throw. What a surprise. So Ivey is still in the game. Here's a 3. I don't know who that's by. Long rebound, though, by the Pistons. It's knocked away by Mikal. Gets the steal, Euro step, and scores the layup in transition. You love to see it. Mikal Bridges getting our first transition points of the game. And now the Pistons will look to get some offense going. What are we doing playing this fucking zone bullshit? Allows an open 3, but hits back iron. A rebound by Mikal. I would have said that's nearly a backcourt violation. Thomas, the step back 2 is absolutely pure. And it finds the back of the net. 21-14 in this first quarter. The Nets cut it to 7. It was as high as 13, but the Nets have scored the last 6. And now Sasser on the perimeter will look for a pass across the court, which he gives to Brown. And now Ivey gets through. Dunk. And that's a very nice bit of work there by the Pistons. I mean, that ball movement was absolutely superb. The Nets now. What? Random ass foul there by Trenton Watford on the offensive side of things. Maybe a little bit of a push-off. Oh, that is so fucking soft. You're fucking kidding me. That is ridiculous, bro. That is the softest foul I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of soft fouls in my day. A lot of soft ones. Step back 3 by Sasser over Sharp. Oh my god, he's absolutely seeing it through. Bro, 6 3-pointers for the Pistons in the opening quarter. They've been letting it fly, and they've found a lot of success from that source, that scoring source. We're getting free throws here by Cam Thomas for number 4 and 5 in the game. Bro, the Pistons are not like this, bro. 6 threes in the opening quarter. You're taking the absolute piss. So Lonnie Walker's about to check into the match, and I would assume he's going to collect Bridges here. So Bridges will sit, and Lonnie Walker will check in. I mean, it's a very, very shallow bench today, so I would have expected Lonnie Walker to get a fair few minutes. But I mean, Kevin Ollie's wanted more from Lonnie because he's had a really, he's had a dry spell. You know, been lacking in a lot of ways. That's an easy 2 on the baseline. Just everyone parted from the offensive player and just allowed a wide open shot. Like, that's too fucking easy. Dayron, oh my god, he's fucking barraged into Ivey. Another offensive foul. Another turnover. I don't know how many we've had in the quarter, but I would go as far... Bro, he's fucking moving. I'd go as far to say we've had more turnovers than field goals made in this match so far. 28-16, 3:11 a play in the opening quarter. It's Jaden Ivey who brings it up. He's played the entire first with minimal reprieve. Flynn to Roden, back to Flynn, now to... Who the fuck is that? And now knocked away by Metu, goes out of bounds. Jalen Noel is in the game, former Timberwolf. So 2:55 to play here in this first quarter. It's actually not been a great watch. From a net standpoint, you can see that Cam Thomas is the only bloke who's really... Well, the only bloke who's really rocked up. He's got 10 points, and we've got 16 in the entire match. If it wasn't for him, I don't know where we would be. And even Mikal Bridges is the second top scorer, and he's only got 4 points. So there's been just no one else rocking up to play. Meanwhile, the Pistons have got points from every one of their starters. So I don't really know what we're doing. If I look at the box score, we've got 6 turnovers and we've made 5 field goals. So look, we're not even shooting the ball that badly. We've been to the free throw line where, like, if you don't include the threes, we're shooting the ball well from the inside. But the problem is, man, like, how many shots extra do you want to give up? They've already had 19 looks to our 11. And as a result, they've had 5 extra threes and they've hit 6. So we're giving them more looks and they're not missing. So, I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster. And they've also only had the 1 turnover. So, basically everything you don't want to do, like, you know, that combination of no turnovers, giving up threes at that rate, and turning it over yourself is just a recipe for disaster, really. And you're seeing the shot chart. I mean, they've had a lot of top of the key threes. I think they've hit 4 of their 6 from there and then 2 in the corners. So they're doing everything that they really need to. We're being completely honest. That's why they got the lead. They're up by 12 for a reason. We've started out the gate absolutely poorly, but I tell you what, I mean, it's better that we're doing it now than later, because, mate, I think it'd be bloody unbearable if later on, you know, when the game's actually hanging in the balance, we dish this shit up. So 2:55 left in the opening quarter. It's 28-16. If you are enjoying so far, make sure to drop a like and let me know if you've enjoyed the streams this year. I mean, some games have been much more difficult to some of the games have been so difficult to actually get through because we've been blown out. I mean, especially in the middle portion of the season, there were a lot of games where we just completely, like, capitulated in fourth quarters, or we were just never in the game to start with. It was pretty dead, not gonna lie. What are we doing off the inbounds, bro? We just look half asleep. That's a fucking easy layup again. Like, the intensity got to go up. Watford gets inside, scores over Flynn, and that's the art of having a point guard that stands at like 6'6". You can go at players like Malachi Flynn and it'll work. They've got Ivey and Flynn in the game. Sasa goes to the bench. He's had a great first quarter. Ivey gets through. Extra feed. Metu, the layup with the left hand is good. It's very simple basketball by the Pistons, but I tell you what, we're playing right into their hands at the moment. Thomas gets inside. Step back 3. I don't like the selection there, but Dayron's going to eat here. Gets the rebound. He was swatted by Noel from behind. And now Malachi Flynn in transition will get it to Ivey. The drive and kick. Noel back to Ivey. He's got Sharp on him, so I'd expect him to drive it. Instead, he goes for the mid-range, and that's a terrible bit of shot selection. A good box out by Clowney, and now Watford will lob it up. It's knocked away. The pass is never on to Dayron. I tell you what, transition play for the Pistons. It's a wild layup, and it's, well, it's a Tony Brothers call, so not really surprised that this is... Let's have a look. Oh, that's never a foul, ever. Fucking dumbass, brothers. Free throws off. Ball don't lie. Don't really fucking know what Trendon Watford is supposed to do there with that free throw. That is rubbish. Absolutely rubbish that they called that. And the Pistons go 1 of 2. So Nets down 15. I tell you what, they probably should be down more. Watford's lost his footing and also been fouled. And we're going to get free throws. The Nets are in the bonus. That's the one area they've actually been sort of good at here in this opening quarter. Taj Gibson is in Forgot that guy even existed. And I don't know why he's getting minutes with the Pistons in game 78 of the season, but what do I know? Watford makes the first. But yeah, there's a lot to fix up in the second quarter. Look, granted, I don't think it can get much worse here. Watford makes both. It's a 13-point game. I don't think it can get much worse with the way we've played here in this opening quarter. Wilson's in the game, and they're going to blitz Malachi Flynn. Would have thought I'd never say those words. Flynn, the three, it's off the board by Day'Ron Sharpe. He has not scored, Flynn, since that 50-point game he had about a week ago. Walker, the drive. Pass out over the shoulder to Wilson, to Sharpe up top. He's looking for a handoff. He gives it to Clowney. He's got Flynn on him, and he's going to back him down. Kick out. Watford. Good defense by the Pistons. They remain glued. And Watford's 2 hits back iron and was always never looking likely. Flynn will pass it out to Noel. Back to Flynn. We're in the final minute of this first quarter. Flynn 1-on-1. He's got Clowney on him. Moves through. Noel. Good defense here. Moving mid-range by Noel. That's just bullshit. They got all the flog referees here today. Just a random side note. It's not the reason for being down 15 points in the opening quarter, though, to Detroit. Watford on the outside. Pass to Walker. He's got 7 to shoot. Cross. Step back 3. And he knocks it down. 7 seconds to play. 12-point game. Flynn will bring it up. Pretty nonchalant about it. Pulls up for 3, and it rims out, and that will do it for the opening quarter. The Nets down 12, and I tell you what, we're lucky it isn't more, because that was not a great first quarter by our standards. I mean, by anyone's standards, to be fair. The Nets trail by 12, and this is the real issue. The Pistons have hit 6 threes, and they're shooting 56% from the field, so they're picking up right where they left off from the last time they played us, and only the 1 turnover. You are seeing, like, they've had contributions all over. 2 plays with 8 points in the starting lineup. It seems like whatever point guard tandem or guard tandem you put out there against the Nets, if you're Pistons, you know, if you're looking at it from the Pistons perspective, it doesn't really matter who. They're going to get it done, because Sasser today has done what Cade Cunningham would probably usually do. Score 8 opening quarter points and also facilitate the basketball quite well. Ivey's got 4 dimes as well to his name, so a good first quarter by his standards. And then for the Nets, well, we've gotten 10 points from Cam Thomas, and then there's not too much else to rave about. I mean, we're not shooting the ball that badly from the field. A couple makes early in the second, and you're right back up to 50%. But the problem is, when we look back at the Pistons, they had 25 shots to our 16. The good thing is the Pistons have not taken a free throw in this game, or they've taken 2. But we've had the 8 and had the Pistons in the bonus in the first quarter. So I guess that is a plus, but the 7 turnovers, the same amount of field goals as turnovers, is an absolutely abysmal side at quarter time. So I think it would, you know, it wouldn't go astray just to, you know, just look after the basketball. Not going to hurt you. And I think we'll be right back in the game if we can start forcing a few turnovers and simultaneously looking after the basketball ourselves. I think that'll get us right back in the contest in the second quarter. So that is the situation as we go into the second quarter here. The Nets down by 12, and it will be the Nets ball to start the second quarter. Nets are being down by as much as 13 here. Whoops. So second quarter underway. And it's Watford, Clowney, Wilson, Sharpe, and Walker. What a weird lineup this is. Another turnover by Watford. Mate, look after the fucking ball. 8 turnovers to 1. Flynn. Into the paint. Well closed out by Sharp. They roll it back out. Noel, the 3 over Walker. Rubbish. 38-23. Wilson tries to move through and is fouled by Flynn. I don't really think that was a foul, but we'll take those. So Wilson free throws here. First is off. And Wilson's second is also off. But we get the offensive board through Clowney. And now Walker the sidestep, the extra feed, and Wilson fumbled it out of bounds. What the fuck, man? 9 fucking turnovers already in the match. We're on record pace at the moment. Bro, we haven't even... So fucking frustrating. Don't even give ourselves a sniff. Sidestep, the 3 by the Pistons. That's off. Board by Sharp. You've just got to start racking up a few defensive stops and then actually capitalize on it. Wilson quick trigger. That 3 hits back iron. We just haven't even tested the paint, really. But when we have, it's been successful. We just haven't done it nearly enough. We've had more 3s than 2s in this game. Shot profile is off. And the turnovers are off. Metu, that's an easy score. They're playing the percentages. I mean, it doesn't really... Like, they're scoring at 57%, bro. That's part of the problem, but... It's been really rubbish. Really rubbish, the defense. I mean... Finney-Smith and Claxton back in. What a bad start this is. Clowney will go to the bench. With Sharp. So... Nets are just going to knuckle down here. Got to go back to basics. Everything they're doing is easily fixable. Flynn basically airballed a mid-range rim grazer. And now Schroeder. The corner for Wilson. Back out to Schroeder. Finney-Smith is also back in. With Claxton. Schroeder. Kick out to Wilson. The drive, the spin, and the mid-range is good. There we go. Let's see a little bit more of that. Come on. Noel. Switch. Bounce pass to Gibson on the bounce. Turnaround. Bro, they're just getting to their spots way too easily. Not even denying them the passes, bro. They've had 1 turnover the whole game. Walker over the shoulder to Finney-Smith. Extra to Wilson in the corner. Kick out. Schroeder. Great ball movement. Walker the 3. It was partially blocked. And the Pistons, bro, they're doing everything right. Metu to the corner. Skip pass to Gibson. To the corner for Noel. Flynn on the outside. Drive on Walker, gets through. Passed up a layup. Noel, Gibson, 2 to shoot. And Gibson airballed the 3. And that checks out. Claxton, looking for a handoff. Walker, Schroeder, 3, lot of space. And the Pistons are calling a timeout. Brother, are we going to make a fucking bucket? Mate, we have played like hot garbage in this game. Why do I always rock up for the trash? I reckon in the last 10 games, bro. I reckon in the last 10 games, I've watched one win. 10 streams. Love how Cookie said earlier in the stream, we're just playing now for a little pride. Well, we're not playing. It doesn't look like we have any pride about us at the moment. Losing to the Pistons is crazy. No offense. Holy shit. Oh, absolutely none taken. Because, honestly, you're allowed to offend the Nets. Because, I mean, they're playing like shit. But, bro, they just got to have a little bit of common sense. I mean, they've taken more threes than twos. The twos clearly are falling at a better rate than threes. And you've got 10 free throws as well. That should be a signal to keep driving it in. We've had 9 turnovers as well. Like, look after the damn ball. Don't really get it. Like, with no Cam Thomas, even Mikal Bridges on the floor, the team's looked a little bit lost. The Pistons have got 7 from Metu, 8 from Ivy, 8 from Sasa, and 7 from Noel off the bench. They're shooting at absurd rates from the field and 3. Granted, they've only hit 1 3 in the quarter, but they still have only turned the ball over 1 time. There's so much wrong with that, especially when you have 9 turnovers of your own. We just got to... Well, simply put, you've just got to start doing the basics right. I mean, I said it probably a few minutes ago. Look after the ball, get high percentage shots up. The 3-pointers are not falling. Take it to the cup, try expose them defensively, and I think the wide open threes will start to open up. But then again, we've proven time and time again in this match to not be able to hit 3-pointers that are wide open. Finney Smith, for example, has had about 3 of them and he's missed every single one. So... Alrighty. Okay. So 8 minutes to play. We're playing some zone, and it makes no fucking difference as Metu scores the hook shot over Claxton. Like, that is the difference right there. They got the shot they wanted, scored it with ease. I mean, not with ease. Like, what sort of a pass is that, Mikal? You're passing it to the feet of Wilson from 2 feet away. Bridges hits a 3 in the face of the defender. I just don't like the shot selection at the moment. We're just shooting the easy shot, not even exerting any energy on the offensive side. And if anything, that means that there should be even less of an excuse, to play bad defense, because you're not really doing much on the offensive side. Step back 3 by Sasa is off. And Finney Smith will let that bounce out of play. And the Nets will get the ball. The 7-10 mark of the second. So 44-28. 7 minutes to play. Second quarter. Bridges. Corner 3 by Wilson. He knocks it down. But, bro, how many times are we going to shoot these threes, bro? Just jacking them up. Every single possession. Metu. Screen and switch. 1-on-1. Pass. Wilson guarding the perimeter. Screen used by the Pistons. The drive in. Finney Smith guards. And, bro, who is this guy? I'm actively trying to avoid saying his name because I don't know who he is. And he's fucking hitting shots like that. Bro, that's a G-leaguer, man. Wilson. The drive. Oh my god, bro. Another fucking turnover. Look after the ball. Jesus Christ. 10 turnovers to 1. What an absolute fucking travesty. Wiseman was fouled before the catch by Finney-Smith, who was trying to come over and help Schroeder, who was manning him up in the post. 6:06 to play. It's been a very rough second quarter. The Nets have only scored 8 points in 6 minutes. And honestly, it feels like, well, I didn't think the first, like, I'm pretty sure I said at quarter time it can't get much worse, but I feel like it's gotten worse. Sasser, the cross. Claxton stays with the man, so forced into a pass to Sasser. The drive, layup is off, and we got a shot clock violation. Ball didn't register with the rim on that layup attempt, and the Nets will have possession, down 15. I mean, it's absolutely criminal that we're only down 15. Really criminal. Lucky we're playing the Pistons, because I tell you what, it would have been a lot worse if it was like someone actually good. Mikal's just seeing it through. He's hit another 3-pointer. That's his second of the quarter, and it's a 12-point game. It was up to 19 about 3 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago even. Wiseman going to back down Claxton, shoot the 2. Hits back iron, the board by Claxton. No call there for the Pistons on the rebound. And now Thomas, picked up by Wiseman on the outside. He'll drive it in. Blow by. Layup is off. Finney-Smith, the offensive board. Kick out to Bridges. No look to Finney-Smith. Knocked away, but there's a foul on Metu. And Claxton is down off the ball. And is just a little bit slow to get up. So, 12-point game with 5 minutes to play here in this first half. And the Nets have just found it really, really tough to get going. Turnovers have continued. Pistons defense has been strong. And the Nets offense, I mean, really struggled, to be honest. Only in the last couple of minutes of the threes started to fall. Schroeder. Defended on the outside by Brown. The drive, the blow by, the scoop. It's off. Tip in by Finney-Smith, but it's called an offensive interference. So good hustle there by Doe. Schroeder really should be making that layup. That's a tight call as well, though. I reckon that could have easily gone the other way. So the Nets may be a little bit stiff. And Schroeder's going to commit the take foul just to get a net into the game. So 4:50 to play here in the second. The Pistons will inbound on the side. Ivey is back in. Kick out. Brown is wide open. I don't know what the fuck the defensive scheme is there, but that's just too easy. How many top of the key threes have you given away? Schroeder. Finney-Smith to Bridges. Up top. Another 3 by Mikal. That's off. The board by Dayron. Thomas is wide open in an absolute paddock, and he misses as well. Can't make this shit up. Sasser. The drive in. Dayron doesn't get there quickly enough. And another score for the Pistons. Back up to 17. Thomas has not scored in the quarter. They've got to try and get his hands on the basketball just a little bit more here. Finney-Smith. Back to Thomas. The drive in. Definitely had a little bit of space. If he rolled it back out, he had an option on the outside, but was able to score for 2 on the baseline. Don't mind that shot. Ivey out to Sasser. Screen by Wiseman. Sasser inside. Extra pass. Too high. And it's going to be net ball on the baseline. Only the second turnover of the match for Detroit. So 3:20 to play here in the first half. Bridges, good off-ball movement. He lost his defender. Good skip pass to Thomas, who goes by the defender and scores with the reverse off the baseline drive. Very nicely played. Ivey the kick out, and Metu just fumbled it out of bounds. Ivey had his pass deflected, I believe, by Thomas, and it affected how the ball was telegraphed to Metu, and a turnover for Detroit. So a couple of turnovers here for Detroit in the back end of the quarter. 3 by Schroeder is good. It's back down to 10, and we're going to get a timeout by Monty Williams. I believe his toe was on the line, so it's back down to 11. But, I mean, the Nets have, they've only scored 17 in the quarter. I mean, the offense has improved at the back end of the quarter. They had like 2 points in about 4 minutes to start the second quarter. So, look, if they can go on a late quarter run, I mean, they were in a little bit of a spot of bother at this time against the Pacers in the first half last time out, but they clawed it back well at the end of the quarter. Clowney had a ripping second quarter in that game. He had 14 points. That really boosted up his points total, but that really swung the way the game was played. I mean, we started the game just as poorly against Indy, so if we can get this down to, I don't know, 7 or 8 at the half, I wouldn't mind it, to be honest. The box score at the moment looks something like this. I mean, the Pistons are going absolutely bonkers from the field in 3. They've had a couple turnovers in the last couple possessions. And the free throws, well, they haven't really existed, but everyone's really shooting it well. And that's sort of crazy because they're not really known for that. I think they got one of the worst offenses in the league. So it's only right that the Nets are giving them an 11-point buffer at the moment. The Nets have got 14 from Cam Thomas, and Bridges is shooting very well at the moment. 10 points for him, 3 dimes and a steal. Outside of those two, we've combined for 24. There's not too much else. The starters really haven't existed at all. Finney Smith has had a few open threes. Clax hasn't even attempted a shot yet. And then the bench, I mean, you're getting a mixed bag with those guys. But yeah, I mean, Nets aren't shooting it as well, but the free throws are really helping them out. The turnovers, not so much. But if they can trim those down and keep it under 15 by the game's end, I think they give themselves a very good chance of winning. Because, you know, to have 11 turnovers at this stage is ridiculously above average. So I think you're doing yourself a major disservice. But we're only down 11, even all that said. So, you know, yeah, I mean, I guess that's the silver lining I take away, that we're only down 11 points. Even with as bad a half we've played. We haven't even shot the ball bad from the field. We're 14 to 30. It's just the turnover ratio to the assist number we've probably got, which I didn't look at, mind you. Like, it's just a little bit out of hand, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But we can go on a late quarter run here. We've already sort of done that. It was as high as 19 at one stage here in the second. Sasa looking for a pass. He goes to the corner. Blitz by multiple. Brown has an open 3. And that hit the side of the backboard. And Sharp gets the rebound. It's good defense by the Nets. Brown's 3-pointer looked very odd when you look at the shooting form. Thomas in the paint. Doesn't get it to go. It ends up back with Thomas. Off hands. Thomas the 2. It's good. And he redeems himself for the earlier miss. And it's back under 10 points. It's in single figures. The Nets were down by 17. They've gone on an 8-0 burst in the last couple minutes to get it back down and slice that deficit in half. You know what they say? 20 points is the new 12 in the modern NBA. No lead is safe. Ivey is well defended by Bridges. They're playing a bit of ISO. That is a rubbish call. And I don't think Kevin Ollie was too happy about that because he had a few words. Had a little tantrum on the side. So first foul in the final 2 minutes, and it will be the Pistons who trigger in on the sideline. Basically right where Ollie is stationed. Ivey gets it. No, he doesn't. It was knocked away by Bridges. He does get it. And then the layup was absolutely wide open. So Mikal did a pretty good job for the entire possession, except he probably overcommitted the minute he didn't get the steal. And it meant that, well, it was an open 2. Schroeder is fouled on the arm. Dayron got the putback too, but instead it's, well, a foul prior to that. And Schroeder, who was, I believe, hit in the eye, is going to get free throws. Wiseman has 3 personals. And he's barely been on the court. So free throws coming up here for Dennis Schroeder. Late here in the second quarter. He makes the first. Cuts it back down to 10. We've got 1 free throw remaining here. Interesting subs. He's brought Clowney into the game. Dayron will take a seat. I don't know if Finney Smith was in the game beforehand, but he is on the court right now. Schroeder makes both. It's down back to 9 again. And so we're in the final 90 seconds of the first half. Ivey goes downhill. The 2 is good off the window. And Schroeder basically stood no chance. Bridges will facilitate. Cam Thomas is wrapping around the screen now. Doesn't receive it though. They pass it to Clowney instead. And now the loopy pass out to Schroeder at the logo. Cross gets inside, uses the Clowney screen, shoots the 2 and scores in the mid-range. Nicely taken there by Schroeder. And it's back to 9 again. So the Pistons holding firm. They've scored a couple timely buckets at the back end of the quarter to keep us at bay. Ivey. Gibson sets the screen, and now Clowney guarding Ivey in a switch. Top of the key. Ivey goes down the middle. Misses the layup. It's good defense. 5-on-4. Ivey's down. Still getting up. Bridges. Finney Smith. Oh my god, Doe. You fucking dumbass. Absolute dumbass. Absolutely going through the motions. Taking way too long to make a fucking decision when there was an open man on the far side. I look like a ghost. I'll fix that up in a minute. Sasser, cross, tries to lose Clowney. Does well, but Sasser absolutely cooked on that possession and had, well, he had Clowney on an island and it was always going to be difficult to contain a guard of his stature. Schroeder just fucking fell over. And that is just dumb. Absolute brain fade. Oh, what a dumbass, bro. "13 turnovers in a fucking half, bro. 2 seconds, 1 second, 3 by Ivey, and it nearly went down. Thank God it didn't, because a 14-point deficit would have looked a hell of a lot worse than an 11-point deficit going into the second half. I'll just fix up the exposure on my camera because it's a little bit out of hand at the moment. So yeah, that is the quarter done and dusted. The Nets go out and score 23, the exact same that they did in the first half. Or first quarter, should I say. The Pistons only score 22, but they still have a pretty sizable lead. I mean, it's not... Look, in the modern NBA, that could evaporate in about 2 minutes, but look, the Pistons have done a lot right here in this first half. The big thing for the Nets is the 13 turnovers. I mean, they've made 16 field goals. They've only had the 9 assists, and they've had, 13 turnovers. That's just not okay. And we're shooting, like, if we just make 1 field goal, we're shooting at 50% from the field. The 3-pointers have been leaving a lot to be desired, but we made 3 of our last 5. And the free throws are significantly better than Detroit's, but the turnovers are just incredibly out of hand. I mean, you look at the players getting the turnovers as well. Cam Thomas is not at a turnover, even though we've had 13 turnovers. It's been more players that you don't want handling the basketball. Finney Smith with 3, Schroeder with 2. I mean, granted, he is your point guard. Watford's got 3. He's just been a little bit careless with those loopy passes as he feeds, the bigs in the post. But yeah, like you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of your 11, sorry, 8 of your 10 active players have a fucking turnover. I mean, the Pistons just look a little bit hungrier out there. They've had 11 extra shots. They've hit 3 more threes. The only thing keeping us in the game is the fact that the Pistons have had 2 free throws, but they are still shooting absurdly good numbers, and they've only had the 3 turnovers of their own. So, doing a lot right. They've had the 6 steals as well. There hasn't been anyone too eye-catching when it comes to, the points barrage. I'm not going to call it a barrage because they've only scored 57 points, but a barrage in the sense that they're shooting 50-40 from the field. Noel off the bench has been awesome. This Roden bloke has been decent. He's got 7. And then Ivey is a team high plus 14. He's been on the court when the Pistons have looked their best, and he's also got 6 assists. So he's largely responsible for everything that's going on in the Pistons offense. He's got half their dimes. Sasa got 12 on only 7 shots, and Metu has not missed. So, yeah. And from a Nets perspective, I mean, you got 16 from Cam and 10 from Bridges. The fact that Cam is 16 in a game where you've scored 46 points is sort of nuts to me. But he's been great. Shooting 50%. Free throw number is perfect. He is a team worst, -11. But look, I don't think the defense is necessarily the issue. I think the defense is becoming a problem because you're just allowing the Pistons to do whatever the fuck they want. Like, they're getting 2 easy looks and you're turning the ball over. You're playing right into their lap. Claxton needs to exist in the second half. Man's got 0 points and hasn't taken a shot yet. Surely there's been opportunity for him to get a couple shots up, at least. Let's have a look at what people are saying. I haven't had a chance to look at chat because I don't have my phone on me. And usually that's where I go to look. Let's have a look. Detroit lost big yesterday against the G League Grizzlies. I know, honestly. This is on brand for the Nets. I mean, you see this shit happen all the time. They pull this shit all the time. Bro, imagine losing to the Pistons. I mean, we don't need to imagine it, my friend. It is happening before your very eyes. Have a look. What app is that? Oh, it's just Yahoo. Yahoo Sports. That's it. Your Nets are sad. I know. I mean, granted, I would have cared a lot more if we actually had something to play for. I'm gonna light this blunt for you. Honestly, not a smoker, but I may very well start after today. Jackson Jr. is not the G League Grizzlies. Well, I don't think he played yesterday, to be honest. I don't even think he played. So it looks worse off. But, hey, we got a half to go. So I guess if there's anything I want to take away, it's that we've still got a half to play, and that's about it. Look, I don't think, the Nets have just looked a bit stupid. Because the 13 turnovers, I mean, that is just against Detroit of all teams. I don't know if they're specialists for that sort of shit. If I go to the team stats, I'll be able to tell you what they're, how good they are at steals a game. Oh, God, they're 30th for steals in a game. 30th. And they've already got 6 steals today. Disastrous. And on top, their assist to turnover ratio is nearly the worst in the league. Yet they've got 12 dimes for 3 turnovers. We've got 9 dimes for 13 fucking turnovers, bro. And the Pistons are 29th in the league for turnovers. With 15. We're 9th. We average 12 a game. We've got 13 in the match. That's the real issue here. It's just a game of outliers, really. We are not expected to be this bad. But yet we are. And yeah, to answer your point, Jackson Jr. was not playing yesterday for Memphis. I guess the upside is that the Pistons did play yesterday, but a lot of their players playing tonight, I don't think played as much yesterday. Let me just go. I'm going to put it on the... I don't want to go there. I'm going to put it on the shot chart, just so you can see the kinds of shots the Pistons are getting. A lot of shots in the middle, not too many in-between shots. Getting a few corner trays, but their success from three is all top of the key stuff. And yeah, I don't know if the Pistons historically are shit shooting top of the key threes, but I mean, once you went to the Barclays Center, you're absolutely nailed on to make some shots. The Nets have they've made their shots from the middle to the left. No shots have been made on the right-hand side of the court. So the Pistons yesterday, only one Piston played more than 30 minutes, and that was Ivey, who shot, well, he scored 6 of 8 from 3. Sasser played 25 minutes and scored 2 points, and he's got 12 already, so that sounds about right. Noel scored 12, he played 20 minutes. Roden played 21, Flynn played 23, Wiseman played 15 and he's starting. Metu played 22 off the bench and he's starting. And then Troy Brown Jr. started, but he only played 23 minutes. And Duren played yesterday, but he's not in the game today. So, yeah, there is, well, fair to say, I don't think the second night of a back-to-back thing is actually going to play. I don't think that's really going to be affecting the Pistons, because a lot of these guys didn't play big minutes. They played backup minutes. Detroit without Cade Duren. Yeah, I know. So, a little bit down bad for sure. Tell you what, though, there is, despite this game, there are a lot of interesting games going on around the league, like down the stretch. The Cavaliers lost to the Lakers today, and in terms of the standings, the Lakers move up to 8th. The Cavaliers, as it currently stands, I mean, if they won today, they would have been half a game back from the Bucks, and that obviously impacts who you play in the playoffs. You're going from playing a nailed-on team in the playoffs to a play-in team, but I would go as far to say that the play-in teams are more of a trap game than, you know, let's say the 6 seed. The Pacers of the 6 seed, they're a good team, of course, but you got the Heat at the 7 spot, and then the Sixers, who have Embiid now, of course, sitting in 8th. So, you know, there's a lot of risk with being the 1 or 2 seed this year. You know, they're not easy matchups in the opening round. So I think that's going to potentially surprise a few people, the outcomes of those first round series. You look in the West and it's even more ridiculous because you got the Lakers, the Pels, the Kings and the Warriors all in the play-in spots, and the Rockets, who have not played too badly this term. They've lost their last 4 and sort of, like, they're 4 games back right now on the Warriors. If they had have won the 4 games they lost, well, they're on the same record as the Warriors, and we're looking at a fingernail finish almost down the stretch. So the Lakers have done some really nice work at the back end of the season. They've won 4 in a row. They've got the best win streak in the league. The Jazz have lost 11 in a row, so they're basically the Toronto Raptors of the West, because the Raps, I don't know the last time they had won before yesterday, where they beat the Bucks. The Bucks have been dropping a few games. It seems like both the Bucks and the Cavs do not want that 2 spot because you're going to be playing the Heat or the Sixers. And there's probably a little bit of PTSD involved, I reckon. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. We've got a game tomorrow against the Kings, and then we've got another game against the Knicks, and that'll be my 2023-24 campaign done. Even though there's a game on the final day of the season against Philadelphia. That is at 3 a.m. my time, so I won't be covering that, of course. But overall, I mean, it's been a pretty bloody tumultuous season, but look, we've been here for the whole journey. You cannot say that I haven't disappeared. There's been a couple games I've just like, put the cue in the rack and basically been like, I give up on life. But most games this season, or nearly every single game I can be at, I've been at. So, I think I've got to be given a little bit of credit where credit is due for just putting up with the fucking shit this team has put up half the time. But hopefully next season we can actually have a definable, direction, because we really haven't seen it like at all. We don't like. I still don't know which way this team wants to fucking pivot towards, but if they're being realistic, they'll go the way of rebuilding. That being said, I have no idea if the Cavaliers, like, Sean Marks has to know something about the Donovan Mitchell stuff, because this guy continues, like, there's a lot of rumors circulating, but if there's also been rumors circulating about Mitchell going to the Spurs. I don't know if he would sign with the Spurs, but that Mitchell-Wembanyama combination would be lethal. I would imagine the Spurs have to give up, like, Vassell, maybe Trey Jones and draft picks, but yeah, and that would put the Cavaliers in a weird place, because they'd have some good players still. Mobley, Garland, Allen. Maybe it would allow Garland to flourish a little bit more. But Mitchell is the difference between them being like a 50-win team to being a 40-win team with Garland and Mobley and Allen. So, yeah. But back to this game. We've got 5 games left in the year. I'm going to be doing, after today, we'll have 4 left. I'll be doing 2 of the 4. So make sure to tune in for both of those. And then that'll be my season done. I'll probably do a review video in the off season. I did do like a season preview where I gave my takes on some over-unders before the season began. And so I reckon my review video will actually just be looking at those calls and seeing whether I got some of them right or wrong. Because, yeah, I mean, there's definitely some I absolutely butchered, but some people were calling me stupid for some certain calls I made early in the season. But a lot of those have actually come to fruition. I think I said Ben for under 10 points. That's what ended up happening. Johnson under. Even though I absolutely cooked my average for Cam Johnson was so far off, I still predicted the under on about 16.5, I think. I think I said most disappointing net of the year was Royce O'Neal. But look, even though he wasn't, he was below average, I think there's a lot more players staking their claim for that title. I think I said Claxton and Ben to leave, or one of them to get traded. I said neither, I think. I said Watford would be in the rotation by the end of the year. Via injury, it sort of happened that way, but, we've seen Watford in the team playing, rotational minutes, so I guess that is true. And that's amongst some other calls as well. I didn't think Cam Thomas was going to make this jump. Definitely didn't think Cam Thomas was going to make this jump. So that's one thing I can safely say I got horribly wrong. Oh my God, Mikal, get off the fucking sideline. 15 seconds is all it took for another fucking turnover. Well, good to see we'll be on pace for about 35 turnovers at this rate. Jesus Christ. It's just a gift, bro. Every possession, we just hand it over. Sasa, push shot is short. I thought he was going for the lob. He wasn't. Oh my God, bro. Another Schroeder pass across the court to Bridges. Nothing about that play was convincing whatsoever. Claxton's lost the mask, and every single time he takes the mask off, his play is enhanced for some reason. So, Let's see what the Nets have got here. There's another foul. That's a phantom call, and Wiseman's going to get pinged with it. That's number 4. And he's been in foul trouble basically the entirety of the way here. Another stoppage in play. Is that Jarrett Jack on the coaching staff for the Pistons? Jarrett Jack, what a name. It's been a long, long time since I've said that name. Or even remembered that name. I remember when the discussion was whether Jarrett Jack or Jeremy Lin was the best point guard on the Nets. Like, how far have we come from that moment? Claxton, Thomas, Finney-Smith moves through. Reverse layup is very, very poetic. Goes down, and Finney-Smith scores his first 2 of the game. About bloody time. We're going to win. It's going to start with players like Finney-Smith and Claxton getting on the board. Sasser the drive. Pass. Good extra feed. Metu open 2. And Pistons continue to keep us at bay. We got it down to about 9 in the second quarter. Thomas, Claxton the push shot, and he's on the board as well. So we break 2 scoring droughts in terms of players putting up donuts in the first half. Finney-Smith and Claxton, the 2 players without a point in the first half. Now, with the first 2 buckets for the Nets in the second half. Thomas, cross, 3 over Sasser. It's off. Rebound by Metu. I just don't like that shot. We could have cut it down to about, well, we could have cut it down to 2 possessions. Behind the back by Ivey to Metu. That's just incredibly easy. Metu's going to hit those shots, man. He's a nice player. Hasn't missed the shot today, Metu. Bridges. Kick out. Schroeder. Finney-Smith on the perimeter. He's got Sasser on him. You've got to take it right at him. And he's fucking blown the layup. Wide open, uncontested 2. Sasser the drive. And the foul. 2 free throws here. Claxton's got the mask back on, so he's back to committing fouls. Bro, Dorian Finney-Smith, how the fuck do you miss a layup like that? Mate, that was like something that a varsity basketball team could do in their sleep. That's the shit you practice in, like, Little League basketball. That's even a thing. If that's even the right phrasing. Like, bro, come on now. I mean, I'm shit at basketball, but I could make that layup. Sasser's free throws, I mean, didn't look too convincing. They both sat on the rim, but one went down. So a mixed bag there at the free throw line. It's back up to 13, and Schroeder now will pass to Claxton and hand it to Bridges, who will get into the paint. The kick out to Finney-Smith, who I feel like is always nailed on to turn the ball over. Another 3 by Bridges is off. So enough of the 3-pointers, man. Enough of the 3s. Get the high percentage looks. Trim the lead down. Or the deficit down. There's a foul off the ball, and Mikal is a little bit bewildered because he thought there was a foul there on Metu. Because there was a fair bit of tussling. So ball inbounded. Ivey on the perimeter. Screen set. Sasser's gotten a little bit of space here. Too easy, Schroeder. Lost the defender. Sasser's had the ball on a string. Like, he has not looked uncomfortable at any stage in this game. It's back up to 16. It was down to 9, and the minute Cam Thomas chucked up the 3, we looked stupid. The 2 buckets we've scored in this second half have been off the back of driving it in. And layups, like that one there by Schroeder. It's a no-brainer. Stop shooting the 3 ball unless it's absolutely on. Ivey will take it inside. Thomas got completely discarded, and Thomas had no complaints, so a legal move probably. Clowney's getting ready to check into the match. Schroeder on the outside will drive it in, and was able to... Well, he was basically kissing the ground as he weaved through there. Actually had to use the floor to maintain his balance, and he was able to score the 2, weave through the defenders. And now the Pistons, through Sasser, will kick it out to Brown, and the 3 is good again. Oh my God, it's just the same crap over and over and over again. Thomas weaves through, and another 2's off. What the fuck? There's a foul. And it's on Metu. Or it's going to be Nets basketball. I don't know, one or the other. But I saw the referee gesture that it was going to remain on the Nets end. Bro, the Nets defense, I mean, here in this third quarter, it's been pretty lackluster, to be honest. Clowney's into the match. Early sub here. Claxton going to drive on Metu. Blows the layup. Schroeder gets the board of all people. Thomas goes inside. Wanted the foul, and he's going to get it. Brown commits it, and we're getting 2 free throws here for CT. So 7:06 to play. The Pistons have gotten off to a very bright start here in the third. You got to stop the 3-pointers, man. Pistons here in this third quarter. Just doing more of the same, really. Oh my God, bro. Does it kill to make a fucking free throw? Bars. Rough watch this has been. Thomas makes 1 of 2. 16-point game. You just got to go on a run and take high percentage shots, bro. Don't kill your momentum off by doing stupid shit. Ivy pulls up and it rattles out halfway down. The Nets get the board. Use this. Capitalize on this. Schroeder goes downhill. Cutter is Clowney on the baseline. He got caught under the basket, but there's a foul. That's a little bit of a let-off because Clowney almost got a little bit ahead of himself. He trapped himself under the basket. So, free throws coming up here for Clowney after the break, but the Nets are down 16. I'll have a look at the chat and we'll see what's the deal, what people are saying. Not too much, apparently. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. We'll be back for Nets Kings tomorrow. Then we'll be back for Nets Knicks on the weekend. And then that'll be my season done. So if you want to see one last watch along, make sure to tune in one of those games at least. The Nets at the moment, goodness gracious, really should not be losing, but we are. And it's because the Pistons, well, they've played a pretty good all-round game. And we've only got ourselves to blame for the current hole we are in. 3-point shooting, relied on the 3 way too much in this game, especially when you're getting to the line a lot and you're shooting the ball well from the inside. 14 turnovers, incredibly out of hand, but I guess it's a plus. We've only had 1 in the quarter. The problem is that the Pistons are actually shooting better in this quarter than they were in the first half. They were at like 54%, 42% from 3. I don't think they've missed a 3-pointer in this quarter. They're 11 of 22. They've had 4 of their 5 players score 2 or more threes in the starting lineup. And that's basically fed their entire scoring total. So that's basically the name of the game. You've got to stop them from 3. Because the way we're giving him away at the moment, the game's going to end very quickly. 3 turnovers for the Pistons as well. That's another huge factor. And ultimately, they've got 52 shots to our 42. There's a huge reason you're losing. Giving away 10 extra shots is only one of many problems that we've had. So, oh man. It's too early for this shit. I fucking woke up for this crap. Although, look, we can't play much worse than this, I don't think. That being said, we look like dead set the team that is playing on the second night of a back-to-back. And it looks like every single one of our players played 45 minutes yesterday. That's what it looks like. Of course, now I've got to bump up the exposure again because it's decided to get dark. So it's going to be free throws for Clowney here out of the timeout. At the 6:49 mark. You're just one good run away from getting back into the game. Clowney's first free throw is good. Just got to get stops. But here's the thing. I just talked about how our shot profile's been well off. Taken way too many threes. Haven't capitalized on the driving enough. These are free throws right here. These will be 15 and 16, and he makes both. But the Pistons are now at threat because we're now in the bonus. There's absolutely no excuse that you don't drive it in on nearly every single possession. Our success in the third quarter, or basically all our offense in the third quarter, has been based off that exact shot, or those layup attempts. Another make by Sasabro. He's doing my head in. He's been tough to contain. Bridges doesn't go in, but Clowney's there for the follow, and it's back down to 14. So Clowney scored a couple of buckets here. Well, a few points here in this third quarter immediately. Ivey on the outside. Metu the drive. What is Claxton doing? Not even trying to go up there. Bro, Metu is fucking showing up. Nic Claxton. Another backdoor cut by Clowney. He's got the last 6 for the Nets. The feed by Schroeder this time. It's going to count for naught, though, if you cannot get these stops, bro. Ivey on the perimeter. The switch. And now Sasser up top. Guarded by Claxton. Going to try Cook. Oh my god, he nearly went through his legs. Sasser tried to recover it. Thomas, how do they still have the fucking ball, bro? Ivey's going to have to put one up, and he airballed it. That would have been so on brand for the Nets to concede a 3 from about 35 feet. But Sasser nearly absolutely humiliated Claxton there. Having the audacity, I don't even think he was trying to do that shit. It just by fortune went through Claxton's legs. I don't know how we didn't get the steal in open play, but we're going to get the turnover forced. So the Nets here can cut into the deficit some more. Thomas to the corner for Clowney. It's an open 3, and it's good. That was his corner the other day. Clowney's got the last 9 points for the Nets out of absolutely nowhere. He had 2 the whole first half. He's up to 11 in the game. 3, the response by the Pistons. It's off. And we get the rebound. We can push the pace. Schroeder. The trailer is Thomas. Catch and shoot 3. It's off. Clowney's there. Gets it to go. +1. Clowney. Come on. This is what I love to see from the Rook. 11 in a row for Clowney. He's just making it all happen. He's making it all happen. Offensive rebounds, backdoor cuts, 3-pointers in the corner. He's doing it all in the last few minutes. 4:49 here to play here in the third. And Clowney makes another free throw. He's just seeing it through in this third quarter. He has not missed. So Clowney with 12. He's replicating the efforts of the second quarter against Indy last time out. He's got 12. 4-4 shooting. The Nets on an 8-0 run in the last minute. Ivey's going to drive on Bridges. Blocked by Clowney! Another play! Schroeder through the legs. He was fouled by Roden. What the fuck is going on here? Clowney's got the last 13 points. Contributes to a block, and then the Pistons in transition foul. Clowney has done it all here in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Finney-Smith to the bench. Clowney in the game. I'm pretty sure Finney-Smith hasn't scored like 12 in a game for some time, and here's Clowney doing it in about 4 minutes. Schroeder misses the free throw, though. You've got to capitalize on these because that was a foul in transition. And we didn't really look like we had a sniff of scoring there. Flynn into the game for the Pistons. Sasser to the bench with Roden. So the lead can be cut to 7, the 4:25 mark. Watford is into the game for the Nets. Schroeder makes 1 of 2. 4:25 to play. The lead is down to 7. Bridges remains in. I think it was Thomas that went to the bench. It was. So a 9-0 run, 1:30 to play here. Switch. Kick out to Brown. There's no one fucking putting a hand in the face. That is a practice shot, bro. Like, that's got to be... You got to do better than that. You've got to do better than that. That is an NBA player, bro. Show some fucking respect. Watford. It's another foul, and it's on Flynn this time. And that was always going to be a point of vulnerability for the Pistons, having Malachi Flynn guarding Watford in the post. So, 78-68, we're right back in the contest. It was out to as much as 17 a few minutes back. Watford at the line. For fuck's sake, bro. How many times are we going to split the pair here in this third quarter? Leaving a lot of points on the table. I tell you what. 7-point deficit looks a lot better than... Or 6-point deficit looks a lot better than a 9-point deficit. But we're well in the contest here. Blitzed by Watford is Flynn. Right at the half-court line. Flynn is looking for a pass-off. Ivey trying to cook on Watford. It's good defense. Clowney again! It's Clowney! Another one! Thomas. Drive. Layup is off, you idiots! He's doing the right things. He just isn't good enough to make the layup. Which I didn't think... Oh my god! Clowney again! This is ridiculous! He's blocked it again! What on earth are we seeing? Clowney! 12 points, 3 blocks. He has not missed in the quarter. This guy has been given a talking to at the half. And he single-handedly, like he did against Indy, brought us back into the game. This is ridiculous. This is a rookie, ladies and gentlemen. A rookie that did not get, like, any play time the whole season. All of a sudden, this guy has just rocked up. Now, I just want to let you know. So the last time we checked the box score, which I would say was about at the 7-minute mark of the quarter, you can see in the player spotlight 2 points. That's all Noah Clowney had in the first half. But all of a sudden, the man has 14 points in the game. So we'll update it as we read it out. 4 free throws, 5 of 6 from the field. He's had 2 offensive rebounds, which have both resulted in buckets. And he's also got 3 blocks, all in the quarter. Fair to say that I did not expect, of all players to turn it on here in this second half, Noah Clowney. And Cam Thomas has not been that guy here in this third quarter. I mean, he's had a couple free throws, but bro, 5 of 14, bro. He's missed a free throw, so he's gone 1 of 2. He's missed all 4 of his shots. So Cam's going to have to lift going into the final period, but turns out that you don't need Cam Thomas when you got Noah Clowney on the court that can carry you through. So the Nets all of a sudden have a bit of a sniff here. And bro, Noah Clowney has just been absolutely on fire. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets Kings tomorrow. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see one of these Clowney performances live, and I would suspect that we're going to see a few more of these over the years, depending how long he's here at the Nets. But you'd be a fool to let him go because he's an absolute monster for his age. He's not even 20 years old. He's 19, bro. I think he was like the second youngest player in the draft. And we also have Derek Whitehead, who I think was in the bottom 5 for age as well. Like, top 5 youngest. So Clowney has just been on one here in the third. Cooking with, well, I was going to say he's cooking with the bench unit, but the bench unit have done nothing. You know, the team that is around him has no bearing on what Clowney has done here in this third quarter. A lot of hustle. I think that's where it's really started from. Clowney, hand off to Thomas. I thought Clowney was hacked on the arm there. Thomas is going to take it in. This fucking idiot, bro. He's just been shit in this third quarter. Cam Thomas slander is valid here in this third quarter because we've had a lot of looks to get back into the game, and Cam Thomas has just left a lot on the table. Metu shoots over the top of Clowney. That's a tough make and a very timely shot there for the Pistons. But, like, Cam Thomas blowing layups, like, I didn't think I was going to see it today of all days. Schroeder the drive. I don't know who the hell that is guarding him. Schroeder off the window. It's off. And a rebound by Flynn. Transition play. They've got the numbers. Flynn pulls up for 3 and misses. And a board by Noel. That's more like the Pistons we know and love. Brown. Pass to Noel. Gonna shoot over Thomas. And misses. Good box out by Clowney. He bats it to Watford. Schroeder. It's an open lane. I would drive it in there. Watford's lost the ball and was able to... What? How on earth is that a foul going the Pistons' way? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. He got to the ball first. There's no way they've called that the other way. You got to make sure this lead does not balloon. Gibson is in the game for the Pistons. Flynn in a switch. Clowney guards on the outside now, so he won't be able to block from out there. Well, maybe he will. The switch. Flynn, the drive on Watford. Picks up his dribble. Bounce pass to Gibson. There's no way. Oh my God. Piss off. Our supposed 3-and-D players can't hit a 3, and then you got Taj Gibson hitting a corner tray for them. Wilson misses, knew he missed it, got his own miss, missed it again, but was blocked by Gibson. I thought it was a block. It's going to be deemed a foul instead, and 2 free throws will follow for Wilson. So free throws for Wilson, who missed both on his first trip. And he's got a chance to make amends here. Walker's in the game for Schroeder. 1:15 to play. So Schroeder is, I believe... No, they've still got Cam Thomas in the game, who's played the entire third quarter. They've given him some extended burn. Got to score a couple buckets late in the quarter. Even for Clowney's good third quarter, we still haven't cut into the deficit at all. Brown the drive, the wraparound, Flynn. It's a good rotation. That's got to be... Has to be a charge, and it is. Well done by Watford. Feet planted well beforehand. And that'll allow the Nets to potentially trim into it further. That definitely is an off... that's actually a blocking foul. We're actually lucky there because Watford did marginally move. And if the Pistons did challenge that, I reckon they would have won it. But they didn't. And here we are with the Nets in possession. Watford gets rid and scores the 2. He completely discarded Noel. I thought that was going to be an offensive foul. And you could see how it would have been called an offensive foul. The Pistons need to execute a 2-for-1 here. It would be smart to do so. They've got the time to do it. Flynn over Clowney. It's off. And the board by Watford. And the Nets are going to hold for 1. CT, don't go for a shit shot here. Who on earth is this bloke guarding Thomas right now? It's an open 2 for Thomas, and he hits with 21.7 on the clock. Down to wait. And the Nets, if they can hold the Pistons off here, I think that would cap off a decent quarter given we were down by 17, 19 points halfway through. Flynn on the outside, the drive on Watford, the layup, it's blocked partially, and it's going to be Nets ball. I didn't think that was Nets ball, but it's going to be, and we got 3.3 to take it the length and potentially make something out of nothing. Thomas, 2-1, takes a step, 3, and he tried to bank it in. It's off. That's three-quarter time. We're down 8, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse. What a quarter by Noah Clowney. He had an absolutely brilliant burst of scoring in that third quarter. Went 4-4, did not miss, scored 12, had 3 blocks, and didn't play like a rookie one bit whatsoever. The Nets had a very slow start to the third quarter, may I add, but they ended up recovering nicely to score 29 in the period. The Pistons end with 26, but the Nets trim into the deficit just a little bit more. They've won the last 2 quarters, but it's that opening quarter which let the Nets down. We got 14 from Clowney in the quarter. Watford scored 7. Wilson scored 7. Thomas scored 19. Only the 1 field goal made, though, in that third quarter off 6 attempts. And Bridges only the 10. So we need to see a bit more from the role players, man. Claxton only the 2 in the game. That is just a little bit abysmal from him. And the 3-point shooting's been lacking. The free throws have been good, but we've left quite a few points on the table because of those misses. I mean, Wilson 2 of 4, Clowney 3 of 4, Watford 3 of 4, and then you've got Schroeder and Cam Thomas also missing a free throw each, even though they're shooting it at good percentages. Turnovers, I mean, we kept those down in the third compared to how we, operated in the first half with 13 first half turnovers, had 3 in the quarter, so much better in that respect. And from a Pistons perspective, they didn't turn the ball over like at all, but their field goal percentage remained strong, and their three-point percentage was ridiculous, or is ridiculous off the back of a ridiculous shooting quarter from 3. I think they hit 5 3-pointers, so they were able to keep us at bay purely because of their 3-point shooting, I feel. The free throw number is still ridiculously favoring the Nets. We've had 19 more free throws, and that is why I emphasize being able to make those free shots. When you get a trip to the line, you need to convert as much as possible, especially when you're keeping the opposition off the line, and you're not forcing turnovers nearly enough as they are. So, yeah. 1 quarter to play. Metu was not missed for the Pistons. He leads the way scoring-wise with Marcus Sasser, who's also shot it efficiently after scoring 2 yesterday. And Jaden Ivey, who I thought was going to be on a heater, is not. Troy Brown Jr.'s got 4 threes. Who would have thought that of all players to lead the Pistons in this one, it's been their role players, and it hasn't been Jaden Ivey. So final quarter underway with the Nets down by 8 to open the period, and it's Flynn, Wiseman. I don't know who this white guy is playing for the Pistons, but he shot a 3 and hit the 3. Who is this guy? Who the fuck is that? I don't even know his name. Just some random white guy on the court. Thomas is still in the game. Bridges has started the quarter. Thomas scores the midi to cut it back down to 9. But stop giving away the threes that you're giving away. It's just too open. Get a hand in the face. Flynn, the high screen by Wiseman, the switch. Clowney's playing at the 5 at the moment. Watford at the 4. Brown again. Oh, my fucking life. Troy Brown Jr. is acting like he's something. Bridges, easy layup. How was that not gone in? How was that not gone in? And then the Pistons miss, but follow up their own miss. That is a joke. How did that layup not go in? There's some things where I can bag the skill level of certain players, but bro, Mikal's layup was perfectly telegraphed. Thomas, floater is good. Goes down. It's back down to 12. But, brother, you've just got to get stops. We haven't gotten one to start the last quarter, and the Pistons have scored a quick bunch of points. They've scored 8 already in 2 minutes. Brown going to feed Wiseman in the post. It's off. The rebound by Clowney. And this is where you got to capitalize, ladies and gents. Thomas here again. Shoots a 3 over Flynn. There's a foul. Surely. What the fuck? No way. That is absolutely diabolical. Never mind. My bad. I'll own the mistake. You just want shit to happen. You're just trying to manifest it. Wiseman now guarded by Bridges. Knocked away by Clowney. Wiseman got it back. The numbers collapse. Wilson with the steal. And now Bridges. Why did we not give it to CT? He's going to play off ball. Mikal. Oh, as if, bro. We had an open 2, but Flynn commits the foul just in time. So Clowney doesn't have a cakewalk of a layup. It was a good play by Clowney to shield the space well. Good take. But foul will mean the Pistons don't give up those 2 points there. Claxton back in. And Clowney will take a seat. So I think that's going to be a negative for us. But we've got Wilson, Bridges, and... Sorry, we've got Claxton, Bridges, and Thomas all in the game right now. If we can't, like, cut the deficit, well, then I don't know what to tell you. Fucking Troy Brown Jr. What is Mikal doing, bro? Off the inbounds, a fucking turnover. Wiseman scores off the window. Fuck my life. 26 fucking points off turnovers, man. Claxton takes a dribble. Bridges open for 3. That's a regulation 3-pointer. Those are the ones you should be taking. Finally, Mikal's on the board. Back down to 11. Metu to Flynn. Shoots the 3. Claxton doesn't even fucking try it. He's trying to cover the drive, but Flynn pulls up and scores easily. I don't know what the defensive coverage is there. It's just... Fucking hell, man. Thomas had it knocked away by Flynn. It's going to be Nets ball on the baseline. But 8:43 to play. We're running out of time. We got it down to as little as, I think, 7. But the Pistons have responded well, yet again. Thomas has Flynn on the back shoulder. Foul. And we're getting more free throws. So 96-82. So 2 free throws coming up here. Thomas makes the first again. Finney Smith is back in, so we're nailed on to lose now because this guy's done nothing good. Like, offense is what we need to get back into this game, and here we are. Well, not really helping that cause. 96-83. We've like, there has to be one run left in us. If we want to win this game, it's going to have to go on like a 9-0 burst or something like that, just to get it within an arm's length. Sasser on the outside is back in. Here he is again. The wingspan by Claxton is denying the pass. Sasser still is guarded by Claxton. They get it to Wiseman now. Knocked away. Finney Smith commits a foul with 3 seconds left. That is just... You got to have a little bit more wit about you. Have a bit more fucking awareness, bro. So they reset it to 14, and now Sasser on the outside will use the Wiseman screen. Claxton guards, the 3 over the top. It's short, box out. Schroeder with the rebound. Now capitalize here. Schroeder feeds Claxton, who takes it, shoots. Oh my god, bro. He had numbers on the outside. He goes up himself and fucking blows it. He has been absolute crap. 3 by Noel. Bro, the Pistons are not this good, bro. They've hit 17 threes on 52% shooting, and they got all their bums playing tonight. Oh, absolutely no respect for the opposition, man. Thomas off one leg, it's off. Finney Smith with the rebound. Thomas is open again. Another 3 is good. Mate, get stops, bro. Sasser the 2. That's short. You've got the stop. Now capitalize on that. Schroeder to the corner for Thomas. The pump fake on the wing. He drives on Noel, puts one up, did not get another call, and he's going to get teed up if he's not fucking careful. Noel pulls up for 3. That's off. Get the rebound. We do. Push the pace. You got the numbers. Thomas gets the 2. Back down to 10. Pistons looking to hang on here. Another 3. That is a fucking audacious 3-point attempt by the white guy that I still don't know his name. Schroeder the drive. The layup is good. Nice little finger roll, and we got a timeout by the Pistons. There is a long way to go in this game. The Nets get it back down to where they began the quarter, which was an 8-point deficit. It went as high as 15 moments ago. With the Jalen Noel 3, but the Nets have scored 7 quick points, and that is what's required now. You're 1 run away from tying the game, or potentially taking the lead. It is the Nets down 8. Let's have a look at what people are saying. In all seriousness, how does a 7-foot Claxton score 2 points through almost 4 quarters of basketball? Like, dude, your head is less than a foot from the rim. I know, and look, the guy's just too slender. He can't move bodies. He can't shuffle bodies. And even if he has a smaller opponent on him, he never goes like he never muscles his way to the basket. It's always like a little bit further out. And it's like little floaters and stuff. And it just looks so much more awkward for a player of his size. Where's Bridges at? Well, he's on the court, but he hasn't really existed in this second half. The Nets are just hanging in there. I mean, not by much, but they are. Boerheim. That's probably the bloke that I just have no idea about. Yeah, that checks out because he's in the game right now, and that's the only bloke I'm unaware of. Sasser's got 18. Metu's got 18. 15 to Brown. Brown has hit 5 threes. Who is this bloke? Bro, they've got 4 free throws in the game. We've had 21 extra free throws. We absolutely killed ourselves in the first half when we had 13 turnovers. We've only had the 4 in this second half, which is a positive. And the field goal percentage is strong, but the 3-point percentage, not so much. Clowney had a great third quarter. He scored 12 points in quick time. So pretty decent game by his standards. Thomas with 30. But he had been very efficient in the third quarter, which, you know, that's where I feel we should have made a proper run. But the guy's gone 1 of 6 in the third quarter, and that just killed us off in terms of, like, we probably left a few extra points on the table, but in the last quarter, he's turned it right on and gotten 30 points again. So not too much of a supporting cast alongside him, but it's not too late to turn things around. Thomas has already got 11 points in the fourth. He's had 7 straight games where he's scored 25 points at the Barclays Center. So we flagged that pre-game that he could be in for a big one. And most definitely he has delivered in this game. So we've got 6.5 minutes here to go on a decent run. Thomas has not taken a break in this second half. So that's something I don't think we've seen from him playing off the bench to him now playing the entire second half. We've come a long way this season, haven't we? So Ivey's back in. Sasser with the ball now. Screen set by Wiseman. Bounce pass to Metu. Moves through Finney-Smith, and the layup is good as the clock expired. Oh, he just allowed Metu to turn the corner there. The clock expired. I think we did a lot right there, but bit stiff. Schroeder the reverse. 101-93. Come on, lads. Come on. Sasser gets through. Gets one up. It's off. No box out available. Another two by Wiseman. It's off. Rebound by Ivey. It's an open three. I thought his toe was on the line. It rims out. Finney-Smith the board. Schroeder will bring it up. Lobs it up to Claxton, who takes it. Had it knocked away. Got it back. Oh, he had it blocked. But there's a foul. And it had to be from one of the smaller players because Wiseman got it clean. It's just like, how did Claxton not exploit this better? How on earth? Like, man had two players under like 6'5" on him. So free throws coming up here, 101-93. Clax at the line. He has not been there all game long, and he makes the first free throw count. So the Nets slowly cutting the deficit down. They have not been closer than, well, 7 since I reckon the first quarter. So can the Pistons hold the Nets off, or are we going to see some late game success? Bro, why? What are these rotations by Kevin Ollie? Bridges is getting a breather, and Cam Thomas remains on. He still has not taken a seat this second half. Schroeder lost his footing, and Ivey had an easy two. Immediately fucking disadvantaged us. Gotta go on a run, man. It's just cooked, bro. We just haven't been able to get the stops when we've needed them. Thomas the drive, and there's a foul, and more free throws coming up. So we're in the final 5 minutes. And this is probably one area you can look to exploit because the Pistons have looked very ropey in their defense of the rim basically all game long. Thomas, 2 free throws for him. He's got to make these ones count, and he makes the first. We're going to see a sub, and it's the Pistons bringing back onto the court someone I didn't see quickly enough. What on earth is Kevin Ollie doing here with the closing group? I mean, I don't mind that he's trying something different here. I don't know if he wants us to win this game or not. He's brought Clowney on for the final 5 minutes. So we've got Schroeder, Wilson, Thomas, Clowney and Claxton, the 5 on the floor. I think he may sense that we need a few stops. Ivey goes downhill behind the back, gets inside, shoots the 2. It's a tough one. Clowney with the rebound. Schroeder will bring it up. We can cut it to 2 possessions here. Schroeder, Clowney, 3. Yes! Woo! Noah Clowney cuts it to 4. The Rook is showing off in the second half. And now he's guarding Sasser. 1-on-1, drive, cross, tough shot. It's off, and Clowney gets the rebound as well. So not only the defensive assignment to force the miss, but the rebound. Schroeder the drive, the lob. It's deflected by Wiseman. The Pistons have the numbers. It's a 3-on-1. The bounce pass. Blocked by Clowney. Block. Oh, this guy's ridiculous. How the fuck has he gotten the block there? Mate, he is carrying the team on his back. And then a foul going the way of the Nets. We have an offensive foul on Wiseman. 3:50 to play. Let's have a look. It's just a simple shove off by Wiseman. And the referee at a quick trigger. So the Nets can, well, they're going to call a timeout here at the 3:53 mark. With a 4-point game, the situation, it's hanging in the balance. So, wow, why are 60 people in chat for a fucking game where there's no one good playing? There's nothing at stake here. Like, the Nets are not winning. Like, they're not making the playoffs. So, I don't know what to tell you. If you are enjoying the stream, though, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back here tomorrow for Nets Kings, and then we'll be watching the Nets for one last time with these watch-alongs for the season against the Knicks at the end of the week. What a way to end it off for the season. The Nets-Knicks rivalry, which is, you know, there's been a fair bit of discussion around that rivalry and how bad the Nets have been and how much they've just accepted that the Knicks are good. Like, there's been no trash being talked, no defense of the Nets. The Knicks have just been allowed to talk a load of shit to the Nets. And you know what? I mean, it's been probably justified. The Nets have been crap. Noah Clowney has had a ridiculous second half. This guy had 2 points. That was it at halftime. Second half, he's gone out and scored 15 points, had 6 rebounds, and had 4 blocks. And I put him in the spotlight, and I was like at halftime, don't think he's really relished the opportunity, but look at this, mate. 17, 6, and 4 for a rookie after going and scoring 22 and having 10 rebounds the game prior. So he's put in some really good shifts in recent times. Though, or I'm not going to pronounce your name, but hello from the Philippines. We're here because we're masochists. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Not going to lie. The Nets are winning. I mean, they may win. It's not going to mean anything, but I fucking hate this shit, man. Why the fuck are we losing to the fucking Pistons, bro? 103-99. The Nets have struggled defending the three all day. They've got the basketball, though, in the final 4 minutes of the game. This is one of the last home games of the season. I don't know who takes the shots. I think you, at the moment, have to look for best shot available. Play the percentages, get to the hoop. That's where the success has been had, where we've had like 23 more free throws. So it's just stupid to not feed into that. 3:50 to play. The Nets down 4. They can cut it to a single possession with the make here. It's Schroeder on the outside. He's looking for Cam Thomas, who will get it here. Get inside the lob. Claxton! 3:30 to play, and Noah Eagle with the call. The Dark Knight rises. I don't think so. He's had 4 points all game. But that bucket couldn't have come at a quicker time. Wilson and Clowney are closing the game with Claxton, Schroeder, and Thomas. We have a foul, and it is off the ball. And I believe it is Claxton who committed it on Wiseman. So we're going to get Pistons on the side with the basketball. CT with a lob. And that's where you're seeing the development in his facilitation. The ball's inbounded to Sasser. It's Wilson guarding on the perimeter. The screen, the switch. Claxton now guarding the perimeter player. Metu, cross, lost the ball. Clowney knocked it away. Or maybe Metu just lost it himself. Thomas, we're into the final 3 minutes. The Nets can tie or take the lead. Thomas will drive it in. Puts one up. No foul. Batted it back out. Schroeder 3. Yes! Woo! Get the chainsaw out. Late season chainsaw. That is the first lead since we were up 3-2. We trailed by as much as 19. Ivy lost the ball. The lob. Oh my God. How did Schroeder not grab it? I don't think Schroeder expected it because that looked like a lob by Ivy, but he actually just lost the ball. It was disguised as a lob, but Wiseman wasn't able to rake it in. So 104-103. We've got 2:30 to play. It's inbounded to Wiseman. They roll it back out to Sasser. Wilson's been given the assignment. Sasser goes downhill. The reverse is blocked, and the ball didn't hit the rim. Claxton with the stop. I think he got the block. Let's have a look at it. Yep, it's the Claxton block. He did interfere with the net, but the Nets have really knuckled down defensively here. 2:25 to play. They lead by 1. Schroeder on the outside. Thomas will receive it up top. And back to Schroeder, who looked like he was going to shoot the three. He goes downhill instead, puts one up. We got a foul and 2 free throws coming up. And I did say this about a minute or two ago. You'd be stupid to not drive it in when you've got 23 more free throws than your opponent. And no, it's not because of a lack of officiating. It's because the Pistons have 4 free throws all game. The Nets haven't had 50. Schroeder at the line for 2. He makes the first. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout as well. 105, 103, 2:13 to play in the match. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. We'll be back for Nets Kings tomorrow. And then we'll be back again for Nets versus Knicks to close the season off. Alrighty. Why are 90 people here? Just a little bit confused how it's taken a Nets Pistons game to get 90 people in chat. And it's a little bit dark as well. 90 people in chat. All of a sudden, waking up for the game actually seems worthwhile. So the Nets were down 8 at three-quarter time. They have scored 30 points to 20 in the last quarter. They're basically doing the complete opposite to what we saw in the first quarter, with the Pistons outscoring us by 12. The Nets hung around and went on a couple of runs throughout the game to keep the lead at about 12. Noah Clowney's third quarter was so important in keeping us within reach. We've still got, well, a long way to go for another free throw for Schroeder with 2:13 to play. He's come up clutch in the late game. And you know what? Kevin Ollie, I am loving the fact that he's closed with Clowney. Not even playing Bridges today. I mean, we do have the Kings tomorrow night, so maybe he wants to save him for then. But I'm loving the fact that he's giving Clowney this closing exposure. Because he's deserved it. That third quarter was far superior than anything Dorian Finney-Smith has done in like the last 10 games. And Mikal Bridges is vibing to the arena music on the bench. He's also been benched for the last 5 minutes. And I think it's more maintenance at the back end of the season. But I don't mind what they've done here. They've given the Rooks some run in a late game situation, which is good to see. Schroeder makes both. Not fazed by that timeout being called and potentially the momentum being stunted. The Nets have scored the last 12 points of the game. Can the Pistons break that drought here? They got Ivey on the drive. Claxton the block. Rebound. Another block by the man mountain that is Claxton in the final couple of minutes. Schroeder, pull up 2. Yes, sir! All of a sudden, the Nets just cannot miss. And plays like Schroeder needed to step up. Sasa 3, rims out the board by Thomas. So the Nets have scored the last 14 of the game. They've got the ball here. We're in the final 90 seconds of the game. The Nets have shot 65% from the field in the fourth, while the Pistons are at 35%. Thomas one-on-one with Brown. He drives it in, shoots with the right hand. He's short on the runner, and a rebound for the Pistons. That's something they haven't been able to do for a while. Can they capitalize? It's Brown on the outside, guarded by Thomas. Backs in, shoots. Claxton again! Oh, goodness me. They've called it a goaltend. That was unworldly. Can they challenge that? Kevin Ollie's going to challenge it. Let's have a look. Oh, he's got it. Oh, that's right at the summit. And Claxton really had to, well, get into the clouds. He had to reach into the clouds to get that ball. So it's been called a goaltend. It's been called a goaltend. But the Nets have challenged it with 1:03 to play. They've got absolutely nothing to lose here. They have a timeout in hand. That's on its way up. That is going the way of the Nets. And Claxton has been an absolute monster on the blocks. It was Noah Clowney in the third quarter. He had 3 blocks in the third. Claxton, I think, has 3 blocks in the fourth. And even though Clax was non-existent in the first half, he's come alight in the fourth quarter. Scored a couple of big buckets at the rim. And then also, the defensive work. I mean, we needed a run to get back into this game, or to get over the hump when we were down 9. And, yeah, we've done absolutely that. We've gotten the stops. We've scored, 14 straight? Depending on whether or not this will be chalked off. Let's have a listen. Yes, sir! Clax! Another block. So it's back to a 2-possession game. Back to a 2-possession game. And I think... Is it going to be Nets ball? It may be Nets ball because we had the ball at the whistle, but I think it'll be a jump. So 103, 108. The 2 by the Pistons, which was originally given for a goaltend, is now chalked off. And, bro, Claxton in the last quarter. Bro, the Twin Towers, Clowney and Claxton. The Claxton Correctional Facility has opened its doors in the last quarter. And Clowney's been one of the staff members because mate's been putting the opposition in jail. Wilson got to get it in, gets it to Schroeder, who hugs the basketball to ensure there's no steal. We're in the final minute. A bucket would seal it because we have the basketball up 5. Thomas is going to get it. He wanted the screen by Wilson. Instead, he gives it to Schroeder. 6 to shoot. Guarded by Metu. Drive. Kick out. Wilson. Ice in your veins. Yes! Sir! It's the rookie showing off. Sasser the 3. The response is no good. Wilson gets the board. Clowney will sweep it up. Schroeder will get by half court. And we're probably going to get a foul, which we do. Oh my goodness. I was going to say, I didn't actually say it, but at about the 5-minute mark, I was saying, well, we need the Pistons to go on a Nets type of scoring drought where they go 5-6 minutes without a point. I don't know how long it's been since the last Pistons field goal made, but the last 17 points for the Nets have come without a Pistons point to counter it. So Schroeder at the line makes the first to get it to 9. Who would have thought? We were down for basically the whole game. We were up at 3-2, and then we only took the lead with about 2 minutes left in the game, and we're up 9 now. So, 25 seconds to play. Clax will go to the bench. Sharp will check in to give Clax a bit of relief. But I tell you what, Schroeder makes the free throw. It's been the Rooks. Wilson, big 3. Clowney hit a big 3 down the stretch to cut it down. Claxton's, made some big blocks. Schroeder's been hitting some big shots. And, Wilson with, some good defensive work. Mate, this team has fucking clamped. Claxton and Clowney, bro. I would sign Claxton up purely because Clowney exists. Because if you go into next season with Claxton and Clowney playing front court minutes together more regularly, like you give Clowney the starting role in a rebuilding team, I reckon we would actually have a sniff at winning more games next season. Because, bro, if you want to play switch defense, Clowney and Claxton is a coach's dream, bro. Like, Wilson, you add him into the mix. He's a physical wing that loves an offensive board. He can space the floor. He's known for scoring out of Kansas. Mate. And then you got CT there as well. Don't fucking rock the boat and chase a Donovan Mitchell type, mate. I love Kevin Ollie for this. He's run the youth. He gave Bridges a breather at 5 minutes and he hasn't seen the floor since. But we went on the run without Bridges on the floor. So credit to Kevin Ollie for recognizing, I don't know if this was just more management because of, the second night of a back-to-back tomorrow, but, the result has been excellent. 3 by Brown is off. We get the rebound. And that's going to wrap it up. Who the fuck thought that the Nets would go on to score the last 19 points of the game and win it by 10 after basically not leading for, I'd say, about 44 minutes in this match? Like, we were chasing tail the whole game and scored the last 19 points of the game. I mean, we're usually on the receiving end of this, but we end up winning the game off the back of a 38-point last quarter. We only improved as the game wore on offensively. And then the opposition, I mean, they just fell flat in the last quarter. They scored 20 points, got outscored by 18. And ultimately, big win. Big win. I mean, just for the confidence of the group, because a loss to the Pistons would have been pretty depressing. But I'll tell you what, some very good performances that indicate what the future looks like for the Nets. If you are just leaving now, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new and want to see more of these. Because we won't stop until the end of the season, of course. But, mate, very nice win. Very nice win, and the key players stood up when they needed to. The Nets were shooting the three pretty poorly for a long time, but they really wrestled it back well in the back end of the game. They were 6 of 20, and they went on to hit 5 of their last 7. We went to the line 33 times, only the 5 turnovers in the second half. After having 13 in the first half, which was just out of hand. We end the game shooting 50-40, sort of 80. Clowney ends the game with 17 and 6 and 4 blocks. Claxton basically did nothing for 3 quarters and then decided, well, I'm going to be a man possessed. And he ends the game with a team high plus minus in 30 minutes. He had, a couple of decent buckets later on, or important moments later on the offensive side, but the defensive work was the big thing. 3 blocks. It supplemented our play offensively. And Dennis Schroeder, I think he's going to be swept under the rug because Cam Thomas hit some big buckets late. Schroeder was the one that ultimately got the team over the line. I mean, he scored 24 on only 10 shots and was 7 of 8 from the free throw line. The 3-pointer that he made got us in front. And then Mikal actually shot the ball 50% from the field and 3 in this game. But I like the fact that Kevin Ollie just was like, we're playing the Pistons. We'll sit you at 31 minutes and cap you off there. But ultimately, late game, the players that were on the court delivered. Jalen Wilson also, show him a bit of love. He was with the closing group that went on that run. He scored 10, he had 2 threes, and he had a steal in there as well. So he did some really important things down the stretch for the Nets. The Pistons just didn't have the scoring down the stretch. Jaden Ivey was inefficient all game. Sasser started the game, I believe, 7 of 10. Going into the fourth, he missed all 7 of his shots in the last quarter. Chimezie Metu didn't really get any touches, and Troy Brown Jr. did hit 5 threes. It was a valiant effort, but unfortunately, the Pistons, I mean, their season's done, so they probably wanted the loss more than anything. That being said, there was a fair bit of good to take away from the Pistons today. It just fell apart at the end. I mean, they hit 17 threes, but they actually missed their last 6, and their field goal percentages are not an indictment of how well they shot the ball today. The free throw number was the biggest problem, though. They had 29 less free throws, and even though they looked after the basketball, they did concede some costly ones later in the game when the game was hanging in the balance. So, fair bit of growth, I would imagine, out of this game for Detroit. But the Nets, pretty good win. I mean, that's where the shots came from. Not much in between games. Some big threes hit top of the key and in the left corner late. And then the right corner as well. Clowney hit a couple big ones, or hit a big shot, and Jalen Wilson also hit a 3 from the same corner in the final 5 minutes, both of those guys. So some big shots made by those two. I think it's great that Kevin Ollie gave these guys run, given, there's nothing at stake for the rest of the year, and you want to look after your key players or players that may have value, and you also want to survey what you've got for the future. But I think that Clowney and Wilson, alongside Cam Thomas, who didn't shoot it too efficiently today, but got to the line when needed, I think it was great to see him and those other 2 players, capitalize. Let's have a look. Detroit sold so hard, they did. Detroit GM should be cooked. Well done after this loss. I mean, you can't really blame the GM for the Pistons conceding 19 straight. Great comeback. It was a great comeback for sure, Michael. Both these coaches are trash. I mean, Kevin Ollie probably won't be there beyond the season. Or he may be an assistant. Thanks for the watch party. No worries. Alrighty. Well, that made the watch party a little bit more worthwhile. Because granted, it was a little bit of a pain in the ass going in. And it also was a pain in the ass when I saw the Pistons were down by 17. Nets should just play Noah at the starting power forward for the rest of the year. Bloody oath they should. I think it's been an absolute crime. Like, Finney Smith, he really should have been traded. And if he was traded, this would have made things a lot easier. But, look, I would have shut Finney Smith down for the season, played Clowney at the 4. And the good thing is, I think you should start Finney Smith, but don't play Finney Smith more than like 20, 25 minutes. Play Clowney as much as you can. And then Jalen Wilson off the bench can play some small ball 4, maybe play some action at the 3 like he did to close the game. Those lineups are going to be good next season. Potentially, if you keep Bridges, I think we will, because we hold on to that guy like he's worth $1 million. $1 billion, should I say. If we see a lineup more often than not next year of Thomas, Bridges, Claxton, Clowney, and Wilson, and then you have like Watford off the bench, and then potentially some others as well, I think you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be 100% fine. And you probably have a sniff of hitting the same amount of wins that we've got to this year. If you're in charge, who am I cutting for next season? You know what? We're going to do that right now, and then I'll head off. Because, these watch parties, there's going to be fewer and fewer of them as the days go by. Here we go. So we're going to look at the roster. It also makes things very questionable about whether Day'Ron Sharpe is on this roster going forward. I think he is going to be, but no more than a backup big. I think, Clowney has to play the 4. If they try to cookie cut him into a small ball 5, it's going to absolutely do my head in. Because the guy is 6'9" and 210 pounds. He is as slim as Claxton is, and he's smaller. So the man should be playing in tandem with Claxton. It is like, the fact that Clowney can shoot means that it is an absolute no-brainer, because you're getting that spacing that you would potentially get with Finney Smith, and, the length is absolutely through the roof. So those guys are going to clamp if they're together next season. Who am I cutting? Johnson needs to go. If he is on the team, he cannot play more than like off the bench. So probably 20 minutes a game, even though his money is 26 mil or whatever it is. Ben Simmons needs to get traded, but he won't. Even though he's an expiring contract. I don't really know what we'll have to give up to get rid of him, get him off the books, but I would get rid of him. DSJ is on a 2-year deal, or maybe a 1-year deal. I'm not 100% sure. But DSJ probably is to go. Walker won't stay because he's an unrestricted free agent at the season's end and he's not getting a lot of run. Watford needs to come back. Derek Whitehead, we haven't even talked about that guy. Hopefully he can, remain out of the injury or the treatment room. And Bates Diop obviously is getting the, I don't think he's staying beyond the season. So yeah. That is, look, I'm just happy we won. I don't think it was that pretty, but it was good to see that the Rooks got that run down the stretch and really showed off what they can do. Because it's just proof that, we've got a couple players on our hands and they've just been sitting at the back end of the bench or in the G League all season, which is a pain in the ass. So, yeah. That's going to do it. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to do it from me. Thank you for tuning in. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like on the way out. We've got a game tomorrow, so I think we'll be here for it. But if it's not that, it'll be Nets Knicks. at the end of the week next week. That'll be the last stream of the season, and then I'll do a bit of off-season content before I go on a nice period of slumber with regards to covering the Nets, and then we'll be back at it for next season. But let's not go that far yet, because there's plenty of shit still to happen before the start of next year. So thank you for tuning in. Thanks for the comments, the engagement, the ongoing support, should I say, over the course of the season. If this is the last time that you will tune in for the year. But yeah, that's going to do it from me. So thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. We'll see you potentially in 24 hours. But until then, have a good one. See you soon. Chat to you soon. And bye for now.